Hello, everyone. I'm the Doctor. Welcome back to Media Awareness and the final of the three specials of Doctor Who, and a review of this episode, The Giggle. Before I continue, however, a quick reminder the fundraiser continues. For those of you unaware, I am a disabled individual and I use a motorized wheelchair slash scooter every day for my independence, and I need your help. My insurance will not cover anything with regard to my scooter as they view it as a luxury item, and therefore I'm reaching out to you, my YouTube community, for your help in keeping my scooter up and running, functional, and making certain that I have parts on hand in the event any other parts do fail, as it has not been under warranty for some time. Additionally, the scooter itself is my only means of independence on a daily basis. Due to my dexterity issues, I'm unable to use a standard wheelchair or any other type of scooter for that matter, as I only have use of one hand specifically and not very well, and it is because of that that I'm reaching out to you guys. There is a spot fund account linked below in two separate places, and it's easy to contribute. It only takes a few seconds, and any and all help is welcome. So I urge you all to check that out and to donate if you can. And if you can't, please spread the word, as, like I said, without my scooter, I am a fish out of water. I'm not able to live my life as I do at the moment. I pride myself on my independence and being as self-sufficient as possible on a daily basis. So I do want to extend a gracious thank you to those who have contributed, as well as those who plan on it, as your contributions are really making a world of difference in my life and making me feel secure in the fact that I will have anything and everything on hand in the event something fails, which could happen at any time. So thank you so much. So we finally have the Doctor Who special, the third of three specials. And this one is by far, I think, my favorite of all three. And I really, really like what they did. And this is going to contain spoilers, so if you have not watched the episode, go watch it first and come back afterwards for any and all feedback. And if you have watched it, please leave your comments below as to what you thought of this episode as well, as I'd love to know your thoughts on this. It did take some twists and turns that I didn't expect, and I'll get to that momentarily. However, I do want to kind of go as chronological as possible, and this episode, of course, stars David Tennant and Catherine Tate and Neil Patrick Harris as the toy maker. And it is Neil Patrick Harris acting his ass off, may I say. He is just off the charts embodying this role of this classic villain from the William Hartnell era of Doctor Who. And we're going to be able to actually experience that last episode very soon, as the BBC just recently announced that they are animating that episode. So we as fans of Doctor Who as a whole, classic and new, are going to be able to experience the last Toymaker story arc, which I think is pretty cool. My dog's taking a nap. He's dreaming at the moment, and when he dreams, he does that little bark thing. So, and my dog is named Canine, by the way, as well. So he's making his media awareness debut, if you will, I'm pretty sure. and how appropriately for a Doctor Who review. So thank you, Canine. But this episode really, it surpassed my expectations, and I really didn't have high expectations for this. I liked the past two episodes. If you've been watching my reviews of these specials, last week's did kind of let me down. I feel I had a lot more potential than what we actually received in terms of an episode. And I think there was a lot they could have done that wasn't done. And it was good, but this one was just over the top amazing. And people in 2023 are acting erratically. And I think that's a reflection of the world as a whole right now. But that's okay. We won't go there. They're acting erratically. They're basically acting on impulse and doing whatever they want to do, and or saying whatever they want to say, and basically being uninhibited. And this is something that UNIT has made a device to sort of protect their individuals from acting this way. And we see what happens if it's taken off. We see how Kate Leopard Stewart, the Brigadier's daughter, how she reacts and acts without this device being active, and she has to be subdued, and the device has to be reactivated on her. We also find out around that same time that working for UNIT now is the Doctor's prior companion, Melanie. Now, for those of you who are fans of only New Who, let's say, Melanie is a companion who traveled with the 6th and 7th Doctors. So Melanie comes back as working for UNIT, and once the Doctor realizes what's going on, and that there are some serious issues, he wants to know when the first signal took place, because it is basically deduced that now that this satellite is in orbit and it is basically linking everyone on Earth to the online service, whether it's by phone, computer, television, whatever, we're all connected, and that's not necessarily a good thing. And you see that in this episode. And I like the way that's illustrated, and it could be a very damaging thing in the wrong hands, which is what ends up happening as people are acting crazy and acting on impulse. So the Doctor, having the signal traced back to its roots, travels back to 1925 to the toy shop. He walks in and is confronted by the toy maker, played brilliantly by Neil Patrick Harris, and he actually urges Donna to leave, and Donna, of course, does not, and they end up trying to follow the toy maker down this infinite hallway, through doorways that just lead to other infinite hallways. And finally, the Doctor and Donna are both seated in front of this stage show of marionettes, and the toy maker is above pulling the strings and basically illustrating how the Doctor has lost many of his loved ones, and there are some villains mentioned throughout there. The Cybermen are mentioned, and it's a really interesting scene. That whole scene evolves into the Doctor challenging the toy maker to a game. So the toy maker comes out, sits down at this table, and starts dealing the cards. And Donna's worried that he's going to cheat. Doctor explains he can't cheat. All he can do is play by the rules. Even though he is who he is, he's still bound by the rules of the game. He cannot cheat. So that being the caveat, if you will, the Doctor and the toy maker proceed to play this game of cards. The Doctor loses. He challenges the toy maker to a another game based on the fact that they had played previously when the Doctor was in his first incarnation, which is referenced clearly there. And there is a moment where the toy maker is sort of considering it, and he says, I will see you in 2023, and the entire place just starts to basically fold in on itself, and the Doctor and Dawn make it out just in time as it folds itself into this box, which the Doctor takes with him back to unit. There are these toys that are life-size that appear and basically human form, and they start grabbing different unit individuals. They grab Kate, they grab Melanie, and they're tossing them around very heartlessly, and the toy maker appears, and as this is going on, the Spice Girls is playing in the background for them to dance to, and it's rather amusing, and it works very well in this particular case. And I do have to say that it was really choreographed well. Everything was really done well in this scene. And whenever the guards try and target anyone specifically, as far as the toy maker's minions, only roses come out of the guns. Nothing is really how it should be, because the toy maker exists outside of reality, basically. And that being the case, he can manipulate reality simply by thought. At least that's my impression. I really haven't done a lot of research on the toy maker, and I haven't heard much existing dialogue from the original serial. But fortunately, we will be getting that, as I stated, from the BBC very soon. Nevertheless, they make their way outside onto this, basically this landing pad for helicopters, where they have this laser that they used to bring down the satellite that was linking everything together. So that effectively nullified that signal being broadcast, and that signal being basically transmitted to everyone who had access to an internet-based system or anything that was networked through this particular device around the world. And the toy maker's not happy about this, and he's using the laser to take some shots here and there, and the Doctor rushes forward, and there's really this emotional moment with the Doctor and Donna and Melanie, and he basically says, no, listen, this is about you and I, let's handle this. This game is between you and I. as the toy maker's toying with him, basically saying, should I target this one? Should I target that one? Should I target that one? And then when the Doctor steps in front of the actual ray itself, he is hit quite hard. And as I said, the Doctor and Melanie rush to his side, and they're holding him, and the regeneration process begins, and it just kind of stops. And I think Donna or Melanie asks what's happening, and he's like, I don't know. It feels like I need you guys to pull on either side, and they pull his arms, and you see the next Doctor, his head come out of David Tennant's body. And we have the new Doctor looking at the old Doctor, and the bodies then separate. And it is then that the final game is basically thrown out as far as being suggested by the Doctors, saying that they want to play the original game, a game of ball, which was referenced by the toy maker back in 1925 when the Doctor and Donna traveled back. So they decide to play this game of ball, and the toy maker throws the ball, and the Doctor and the Doctor are very effectively catching and throwing the ball back and forth between them and the toy maker. And at one point, the toy maker misses it, and the ball falls off of this building side that they are on, and the unit landing pad, basically. And the toy maker lost. And the Doctor then banishes him from all reality itself. And you see Neil Patrick Harris's toy maker folding up, and the Doctor sort of gets the box into the line of where this is occurring, and he falls into the box. They shut the box, and Kate Leopard Stewart says to seal it in the deepest archives, and basically bind it in salt. Going back to the previous episode where the Doctor, at the end of the universe, drew a line of salt to basically indicate that you could not cross that barrier, which may or may not have changed things historically in terms of it being superstition and reality, implying that, I suppose. So you have that take place, and the Doctor and the Doctor are really uncertain as to what's happening, and Donna helps to clarify that by saying to David Tennant's Doctor, well, part of you wants to be out there among the stars, part of you just wanted to come home, and you're home. And when the Doctor, Donna, and the Doctor are in the TARDIS together, the new Doctor grabs this gigantic sledgehammer out of the TARDIS floor, which he manages to conjure up, goes outside and bashes the TARDIS with it, splitting it in half. Basically, splitting it, I should say, into two separate TARDISes. And they then are able to determine that they are both identical, but that one would be for the new Doctor and one would be for David Tennant's doctor should he want to travel at all, as opposed to simply hanging around with Donna's family and actually having a home. And it's a really, really interesting concept. And from a disabled perspective, I appreciate the fact that the TARDIS is now handicap accessible as well, as the ramp unfolds on it. And I thought to myself, yeah, I can now be a companion. Or I could be the doctor, perhaps. But, or even the master, for that matter. Who knows? But yes, it was definitely a really great episode. It ends off with Donna and her family having the sort of dinner outside with the doctor, David Tennant's doctor, and um, Melanie arrives as well. Donna, at one point earlier in the episode, is offered a job with UNIT, and she kind of very quickly haggles for a salary and gets what she wants, and it's all agreed on. So presumably at that point in time, Donna is now working for UNIT as well, and alongside Melanie, and you know, everyone that we saw throughout the episode itself. And there is a comment made. They hear some gunfire, and it's referenced that Donna's grandfather is basically shooting moles in the backyard of the home, and the doctor says to them that he put a force field around the moles because he likes moles. And it was just sort of a nice little nod to the late actor who played Donna's grandfather, as he was a magnificent actor and sadly missed in the Doctor Who circles as well as British TV in general. But we at least got to see him at the end, the tail end of last week's episode, and he was referenced in this one. And it was nice to see that. And basically, the episode ends off with the interior of the TARDIS, showing the new Doctor just kind of getting a feel for the vibe of the TARDIS itself. And we get a title screen that says Destination Christmas. And that will be our next Doctor Who episode, I suppose, is Christmas, which is definitely something to look forward to after a magnificent episode. The Doctor actually goes through, when he's split in half, he goes through bi-generation as opposed to regeneration, which is how they're able to explain the two of him. And also, of course, is a reference to individuals having more than simply one aspect of who they are, and even just having different aspects to them as individuals, or their sexuality, etc. It's all kind of incorporated in that, in my humble opinion, and it's done real well and tastefully in my humble opinion as well. So, The Giggles. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? And are you going to be watching the adventures of the new Doctor? I'm definitely going to be doing so as long as I'm able to, and as long as it is on Disney Plus. And I regretfully do not have access to the classic episodes as you guys in England do. However, I do have a vast majority of them on DVD and Blu-ray, on the shelf behind me. If you're wondering what's on that shelf, in the front row of that shelf, you have a multitude of different things: Star Trek, Highlander, X-Files, just a plethora of different things. Hellraiser, Phantasm, all the David Lynch, Dune, and offshoots of Dune, Danny Villeneuve's Dune. Behind all of that is the Doctor Who collection, which I hope to soon have on display when I'm able to get another wall unit to sort of separate the collections, similar to the way the Doctor separated the TARDIS into two separate TARDISes, TARDIS. Who knows what the plural of TARDIS is, but maybe it's just TARDIS. Think about that. So, I hope you enjoyed this overview of this episode. I really enjoyed this. I really did. And I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next in Doctor Who. Now that Russell T Davies is back helming the show, I feel like it's on an upswing, and it definitely is on the right path in my best estimation. And we can only watch and see. And of course, enjoy. This is Rob with Media Awareness. And don't forget the fundraiser continues. Donate what you can today, and it would really make my day. I will see you all soon. Have a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.